Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome to the series where I go over all of my monsters that I've 6-starred so far. I'll be talking about why I 6-starred them, how I ruined them, how I use them, and what I do with them now that I'm much later into the game. So this video I'm going to talk about my 7th to 9th 6 stars, which were the Dark Ifrit, Veromos, the Water Beast Mark Chandra, and the Fire Rakasha Hua. Let's get straight into it. Alright, so this is my Veromos as he is right now. Stats wise, pretty similar to how I had him originally. He hasn't changed too much over time. Still pretty much the same, a little bit slower, but I'll get to that in a bit. So he's on speed, HP, defense. He's got decent HP, decent defense, decent speed, decent accuracy. He's on violent, nemesis. Ooh, that's a nice slot 2 rune. I haven't seen that in a while. Oh, not max yet. Anyways, so the reason I 6-starred Veromos in the beginning was because of dragons. I was pretty fortunate with my time actually. By the time that I was working on my dragons team, Veromos had just came out. So I went straight to fusing him. He was definitely a big help to dragons back then. He was really OP back in the day actually. He's passive. You see here right now, it's 3% for each effect remover. It used to be just straight up 15%. If I remember correctly, it used to be a high number, just one debuff would heal him back up 15%. So back then he was able to 1v1 the dragon sometimes when you get him low enough. Nowadays not really. But yeah, Veromos was a really strong unit when he came out back then. So everyone was getting him. I wanted him main for dragons, but he was a huge help in giants as well. He was a huge help in arena and guild wars. You wouldn't expect that too much nowadays, you don't see him too much, but back then he was the most painful monster to fight. The amount of soul I had fighting him, you just couldn't kill him, and he just kept stunning you, and he just kept healing himself back up. Because you gotta try to burst him down, you get defense break on him, he gets it off himself, and he heals a bit more, and then just violent proc stuns you, and so much soul, really, so much soul. Of course he got nerfed afterwards, but yeah. See, this is how he's ruined now, but in the beginning, of course, I used him for dragons, so I didn't have my dragons team quite up yet. So I didn't have many violent, so I had him in Swift, Energy, or Focus. Swift, Energy, or Focus, Speed, HP. That's why I had him in the beginning. And even on Swift, he was still a huge help in dragons, even after the nerf. See, Guild Wars, Arena, he's a little help there. I wouldn't say he's too impactful late game, now that I'm there, but definitely a good help. He's in my TY hard team. He's in my main team, so I use him for like 90% of TY hard. Aside from TY hard and dragons now though, I don't use him too much anywhere. He's kind of been collecting dust, I guess. That's why his runes haven't been as great. He used to be a lot faster and a lot tankier, but now he's kind of holding on to some spare runes. Used to be about plus 100 speed, 25k to 30k HP. Now I'm just needing for dragons, and with this stats as it is, he survives really well in dragons and 2A hard. But yeah, so let's go on to my next 6-star, which was Chandra. And like I said, I had really fortunate timing when I first started my dragons team. About time Veromos came out, like I said, and during that time as well, I pulled my Chandra. So he replaced my Sigmarus in my dragon team, which I had problems with because Sigmarus would die a lot. So low HP, base HP. But yeah, I put Chandra around that time, put him straight into my Dragons B10 team. But let's talk about his stats first though. So this is how he is right now. HP, triple HP. So that's why he's got a decent amount of tankiness, decent amount of HP, defense. Average speed, I guess. You kind of do want him to be faster, but I built him back in the day when it was more bruiser, heavy meta, and I still like to use him that way. That's why he's like this. Got 85% crit rate. He's on Violent Revenge. So yeah, 6-star Chandra back then for my Dragon team, of course, and my second Nat 5. Wait, no. Okay, he's my third Nat 5. I got Vanessa, then I got Vanessa, and then I got him. So my second Nat 5. 6-star from Dragons, of course. And Guild Wars. Let's see what else. in the beginning, I had him ruined Despair. That's right. Despair, Energy. Despair, mainly because of his AoE, and because his first Q can also stun. And because I didn't have Violent Runes. But yeah, in the beginning, I'm on Despair. I think even on Despair, he was still huge help in Dragons. He could do decent damage. He could hug, what's called Defend now, but he could hug monster, help keep them alive. If he does get the finishing blow on the tower, he doesn't get popped because it's so tanky and he's water. So all around great unit for beginning Dragons. Because he was on Despair also, oops, sorry about that. Also because he was in Despair also, I used him for TOA. I think it was a good help in TOA normal in the beginning. Good AoE slow. AoE slow is so good. Plus the Despair. Defend to help keep people alive. And first turn hug. First turn stun. That's right. Not too bad. Helpful here and there, but not reliable, of course. But overall, a good help. Guild Wars. I think it was still good helping Guild Wars. Even if he was on Despair. He could do decent damage. He could keep people alive. He's still pretty much the same. It's just a little bit more crowd controlled, I guess. So when I did finally get my Dragon team going, I wanted him on Violent, of course, because they're Violent proccing machines. And because if you get that hug on to 2 people, 2 DPSs, that's such a good feeling. Yeah. I don't use him in Dragons anymore because I have bad DPSs. I don't use him in 2A anymore as well. I still use him in Guild Wars a lot. I would say about 50% of the time I use him in Guild Wars. He's part of one of my main comps, my go-to comps that I use a lot, which is Delph Bella Chandra. But aside from all that, not much uses. not much uses anymore. I guess Arena every now and then. But Arena I really like to YOLO, so he doesn't come out too often. So that's my Chandra for you. I do still really like him. I think he was definitely worth Devil Morning max skilling. Still really like him. He's flexible with DPSs, so that's good. Alright, and then wow. Let's go over her runes first. Stats. A little bit of HP, a little bit of attack, very little speed, and then crit rate, crit damage. Hua is probably, runes, violent broken at the moment. Speed, attack, crit damage, attack, that's right. Hua is probably one of my monsters that have been changed the most over time. She has had what? 3 to 4 builds on her now. So this is the latest build on her, which I am using for Necro, as you saw just then. But in the beginning, I wanted to build her because I just had my Giant team done, I just had my Dragon team done. I wanted some fun, I guess. And I wanted a DPS, a fire DPS to be exact. So I had Hua. She seemed like a good candidate, that's why I 6-starred her. And I think she was definitely a decent DPS in the beginning. So in the beginning, of course, still didn't have really good violent runes yet. Still didn't have really good violent runes yet. I had on Swift, Speed, Attack, Attack. I wanted Speed, Crit Damage, Attack, but I couldn't get good Crit Damage rune. So Speed, Attack, Attack, typical of DPSs that have Speed based modifiers for their skills. In the beginning, I used her for Guild Wars. It's decent, you just gotta pick your teams, you know. Don't hit anything with water that can kill her, she's really squishy. In the beginning as a DPS, I really liked her, she was fun. She didn't violent proc, but she got some good passive procs, I guess. Is that what you call it? Yeah. Procs again, 25% chance. And her dots were a huge help. So that was how she was in the beginning. And then I got started with TOA hard. So then her build change to violent, speed, HP, no, speed, attack, HP. And then I felt like she wasn't doing enough in TOA hard. Then she went to speed, HP, accuracy, ditched the attack all together. And then raids came out. I wanted to back on DPS build, but I didn't have really good violent runes, DPS runes to give on her anymore. That's when I went broken sets. I went Guard, Blade, focused or something like that. Speed, crit damage, attack. I got really good runes though, that's why I did it that way. See, I got like 20k HP, under 2k attack, a little bit under, decent crit rate, decent crit damage and speed. She does so much damage in raids, really a lot of damage. And she's a huge help in raid as well. That attack bar decrease is so good, giving you a bit more time to get your survivability going again. Let's see what else. And then that's when I got Wriggle. So I'll talk about Wriggle later on. But then I didn't want her as a DPS anymore. Although she is still really good DPS if you can get her with violent runes as well. Or even just what I said before, random runes will still work. But I preferred Wriggle then. Then I finally decided to put on my Necro team. And this is the runes you see right now. So for Necro, I think she does a really good job. If you saw before, she does need a little bit of violent runes, and you really need the accuracy to get her to land the speed slow. That's what her main purpose. But other than that, I think she's rune like this, really good DPS. She does enough damage to get rid of the fodder in the beginning. She does enough damage for the boss. She puts on dots every now and then. The speed slow main important, mainly as well, is important. Yes, that's it. Just a Necro she is now. I don't use the DPS anymore. Well, I do every now and then in Guild Wars, but that's when you fight like really win oriented teams, right? When there's really no danger to her and when there's a chance to use her, I use her. But I do have other DPSs, so I have Perna and Zaras. So that's why she's only used to Necro right now. But yeah, she's so versatile. What are the stuff I mentioned? TOA, Guild Wars, Raids, Necro. I know people use her in Giants as well. She was definitely huge in Giants in the beginning, before Giants was changed, where basically if you critted the Giant at any time, he would do the retaliate. Now it's every 6 turns, right? 6 hits. But yeah, she was huge help back then. I didn't use her personally, but I played the game after it changed. But yeah, she was huge help back then. You just build her with like no crit rate, and she just kept the boss from not moving. But yeah. I think I'll end this video here for today. Let me know what you guys think. If you want to see more Summoners War content, please subscribe. If you want to see other content from me, please check the description down below. And hopefully you look forward to the next video where I'll be talking about, that's when I started going on my TOA team, Beretta. Actually, I gotta think about this, so yeah. Hopefully you look forward to that one. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye. Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome to the series where I go over all of my 6-star monsters, talking about why I 6-starred them, how I use them. Okay.